What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Figure It Out of the Basement's Black Series Talk Show. I'm Nate, joined with Justin.
What's up, guys?
And today we're going to be counting down the top 10 Black Series figures of 2022. We're here, Justin. It's the end of the year.
True.
I think it's safe to say that every Black Series figure we could possibly get our hands on, we've been able to get our hands on them. So this list is going to be going from wave 31.
Yep, that's like the Fennec Shan, Jedha Patrol Stormtrooper wave. I know some channels use that in their 2021 list because they got it like late December. The overwhelming majority of collectors got that wave in early 2022 though, so that's why it's considered 2022 for us. All the way to wave 34, Nate, which is Clone Wars Maul, Ayla Secura.
Yeah, and then the most recent figure that I think is safe to say is probably the last new figure of the year, Ned B.
Yeah.
Recently made its way into our collections as well. So we figured now would be the time to do the list. What an absolute tough year, by the way.
Yeah, right. We have mainline, exclusives, deluxe, gaming greats, all sorts of stuff. Everything counts. There's been so many releases this year. Fun fact, 2022 has offered the most amount of tooling in years. More than 2021,
Wow.
2020. I would have to make an actual list to see where it ranks, but is definitely one of the highest years for new tooling.
Yeah, and this was a fantastic year for the line as well. Like you were mentioning, the main line, so many new figures, so many heavy-hitting characters as well. We saw a return to soft goods. We got more prequel Jedi this year. So it was a nice, well-rounded offering. And so making this list was pretty tough, actually.
Yes.
And some of it is even still, it's like, well, you know,
Yeah, right.
especially the top two. Before we jump into the list, though, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. We're always talking Star Wars, the Black Series here on the channel. So, Justin, we do have one honorable mention.
Just one. We limit ourselves to one or we'd be here all day.
Be a top 15 or top 20, but
Right.
we do have one, and this year's honorable mention is Boba Fett Throne Room.
Yeah, the Morak look from Mando Season 2. They sort of just slapped it in a Book of Boba Fett box. It's not really a Book of Boba Fett figure.
They said, wait, Book of Boba Fett's coming out? Switch the box.
Yeah, same with another figure that is on this list. But this figure is so satisfying. This is one of my favorite looks for the character, even including original trilogy. And I wanted to include it on this list especially because it is actually more accurate, and you could make an argument that it's even a better figure than the SH Figuarts, which I think is a pretty big feat considering SHF costs 3 times as much. It should be 3 times better in every single way, but it is better with the more realistic helmet and the drapes. The SHF just has the skirt, which is inaccurate, so I'm like, a Black Series figure being more accurate than high-end import, put it on the list.
Yeah, and price aside, Boba tax aside,
True.
It is just a really nice figure. It's got some really nice details and some pretty fun articulation as well. But there's 10 other Black Series figures that came out this year that are better. So Justin, I'm going to pass it to you, my brother.
Coming in at number 10, more prequel Jedi, baby. Let's go. Let's get even more Ayla Secura. Put it at the number 10 spot because it does reuse the legs of Holdo and Aura Singh, but they did fix the hip joints.
Yeah, thankfully they did fix the hips. So really the legs aren't all that bad, except for, of course, they are double jointed, which is good for articulation, but they are pinned as well, so you kind of lose out on that.
Right.
She does have a new torso, though, new head. She actually does have butterfly joints that are hidden deep in the chest, but they are there, and it does help to actually get some really dynamic posing. So she can easily hold her lightsaber with 2 hands above her head, like we see her do in the prequel movies.
Right.
I kind of think it was more of a Clone Wars looking figure, if you ask me.
I can agree with that, yeah.
They definitely seem to skew a little bit more towards the animated styling with the figure, but they did put it in a Attack of the Clones box, so I'm, I feel like I have to mention it, although
Yeah.
it really doesn't bug me in any way.
Yeah, Hasbro, please give us even more prequel Jedi.
And moving on to our 9th choice. This is a figure from Wave 34, so we just recently got this one, and that is the Grand Inquisitor from the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus show.
Hear us out.
Yeah, okay.
Hear us out.
It's a little unfortunate that the figure is based on the design from Kenobi, because he does have a little bit of a Humpty Dumpty
Egghead
Eggman
but
look.
That's more on the designers
Right.
of the Kenobi series. That's not Hasbro's fault. They always prioritize live action looks when they release figures. But aside from Egghead Boy, is he a great figure?
Absolutely. Really well engineered, specifically with the soft rubber armor, like the big shoulder pads. They get out of the way so they're bulky, but they don't block any articulation.
Right. The cape, the soft goods is so good. I love the color on the inside, and I love the little stitch they made on the back so you can actually pose the hilt on his weapon storage on the back, because that's how I have mine posed, just hands behind his back, hello, third sister.
I still think it's awesome to finally get the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, butterfly joints, all new sculpt.
Just another character that we've been waiting for years and years and years, and honestly, I feel like we're not gonna get a Rebels version, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I feel like if this is the only one we can have for the shelf, at least it is very good, and it is accurate to what it's supposed to be based on, which is the Kenobi series.
Coming in at number 8 is Echo from the Bad Batch. Another banging figure that is surprisingly not as much reuse as you might think it would be.
True.
The torso, helmet, even the backpack is new. I believe the legs are just your standard clone trooper, but the knee pads are sort of different. Great photoreal likeness. Like, outstanding photoreal on Echo. And you get the little alternate concept art accessory.
Yeah.
The claw.
Whatever that claw was supposed to be used for,
I'll
who
take
knows? But yeah, it's just a nice little bonus accessory, and still is pretty well articulated. And like you said, the photoreal head is just excellent.
Yeah. And it rounds out the team in a relatively short amount of time. Hasbro loves taking their sweet time finishing teams like Rebels or the Rogue One crew, and hopefully not Delta Squad, Republic Commando. But it was so awesome to get that final Clone Force 99 member with Echo. Such a satisfying release.
Number 7 is a deluxe figure that may not be deluxe in terms of accessories, but is certainly in size and detail, and this is the Saw Gerrera Rogue One figure.
Yeah, this figure just has so many extra bits, and it's such an asymmetrical figure with all these tubes and gadgets and bits and like sculpt work and detailing on it. Different shades of paint around the whole figure.
2 different feet.
Yeah, I love the little robo prosthetic foot.
Yeah. One of the few times where I think the plastic cape actually works better for the figure because of how it's designed and how it actually drapes from the back of the figure. I don't think it really would have worked as a piece of soft cloth.
Right, yeah. Great photoreal too.
Yeah, fantastic photoreal to Forrest Whitaker. Again, another super important character that we finally got in the Black Series. We didn't have a Saw at all before this. So it's nice to at least have one so that we have some representation of the character, because at this point, Saw's been in Clone Wars, Rebels, Rogue One,
Jedi Fallen Order.
Jedi Fallen Order. He's been in a lot of stuff, so it's great to finally have him in figure form. And the Rogue One version is a very solid release, and I hope that we get a little Gaming Greats modified version where they change that foot out,
Get the bald head.
put that bald head on there, and sell it to me again, because I will absolutely buy that.
Number 6 is a Wave 31 release way earlier in 2022. That is Fennec Shand, another all-new sculpt. Most of these figures on the list are 100% new sculpts.
Yeah.
and Fennec Shand is no different. I love the textured detail on like the lower part of the costume. I actually think it looks better than the soft goods of the vintage collection version because you just miss out on those lines and that textured detail.
Yeah.
Great likeness too.
Yep, and another figure that was a pretty big game changer in my opinion. Like when we first got it, it was like another one of those figures that when I got it out of the package, I was like the Black Series has gone to another level. She's got great articulation.
True.
Might be a little light on the accessories, but I love that we can put the helmet on. It is removable. You can fit the braid through it, and also you can actually open it just enough to where you can actually see her eyes. It was just a really well executed figure. Again, randomly put into a Book of Boba Fett box, although it's definitely
a Mando Season 2.
A Mando Season 2 figure, but box issues aside, Fennec is just a next level Black Series figure.
Absolutely.
And now we're jumping back into the world of deluxe figures. This is also a Mandalorian figure. Our number 5 Black Series figure of 2022, the Dark Trooper.
This boy, glossy. Maximum gloss.
Literally have to give this thing the white glove treatment or keep one of those like
microfiber
lens cleaners close by so that you can meticulously wipe the figure down after any handling.
Yeah, I've seen that as a critique, but I'm just like, that's how it's supposed to look.
Yeah, there's really no other way to do that. And also, I've got 2 words for you, Justin. Alternate hands.
Yeah, we are hard pressed for alternate anything in the Black Series, as you guys know. So it was just great to get those fisted hands, the rock'em sock'em vibe that you get from putting those fists on him when he's punching Mando into the wall. Excellent accessory choice. I do like the blast effects as well, but it obviously should have came with a flight stand of some kind to utilize those flight effects. But I actually like the soft overlay of the chest because you can utilize all of that articulation. You could have him aiming down the sights. You could have him brawling. Good blaster posing. I don't really see the soft overlay as an issue because once you pose him, he just goes on the shelf. Like, why is that a problem? I don't know.
Yeah, and it definitely helped out with the articulation as well because you can just have so much fun with this figure. It's super dynamic. You can make it do things you didn't even see it do in Mandalorian. Like I always love doing Mortal Kombat style poses and the Dark Trooper is one of those figures where it just works for any scenario.
Yeah, I love the red eyes. I love the fact that it's a droid. We love droids, especially in the Black Series. Another all new sculpt. Dark Trooper, top 5 material, 100%. Number 4. Now we're getting into the chef's kiss masterpiece figures.
Oh yeah.
Ahsoka Tano from The Mandalorian. Holy cow, this is another brand new sculpt. And I know what you're thinking. Some people say, we've had Ahsoka before. No. This is like a definitive Ahsoka Tano until we get Clone Wars Season 3. Ahsoka, which we are getting.
True.
But the articulation and the photoreal likeness, I want to say best photoreal of 2022.
I would definitely have to agree with you. The sculpting is next level. The photoreal print as well, along with the intricate white face details that Ahsoka has. It was really cleanly executed. She's got butterfly joints that are so well integrated and just a part of the figure. Just some really
shoulder. It's like a shoulder butterfly joint.
Yeah, it's really great engineering how they worked that into the sculpt itself. Really cleverly hidden. It is a little bit of a bummer we didn't get her cloak and they held it out for a later release, but I still think as a brand new figure, the likeness is amazing. The articulation is fantastic. This is also the first Ahsoka figure that can actually stand up for long periods of time.
Yeah, very sturdy. Like you said, the articulation is great. Doesn't fall over. You can get her in such dynamic poses. It's insane. I highly recommend picking up this Ahsoka figure, even without the cloak. It's a masterpiece of a release.
Justin, number 3 is a figure I was beginning to think, are we ever going to see this in Black Series form? We're going back to the original trilogy with our number 3 pick, which is Figrin Dan.
Yep. This is where the out of the basement bias comes into play.
Oh, yes.
We love our aliens, and we especially love our background original trilogy characters, and this has a world building element to it that I didn't think we would ever see in the Black Series, if I'm being completely honest. Figrin Dan is a monumental release for us because we love the Cantina, the wretched hive of scum and villainy. I have 6, including Nail and Chill, which Nail and Chill is great, but we're just doing Figrin for the sake of the list.
If you really wanted to cheat, we could also just include Nolan here right now.
You need Nail and Chill if you're going to get a Figrin Dan.
You need them both. But Justin, what an amazing figure. You get 3 instruments that all have paint app details on them.
What?
Painted weapons. It's insane. I really love the details. I think they nailed the Bith head sculpt along with the nice intricate little pink paint app details.
The little pink, and just the sculpt is awesome. It's pinless and a Black Series first as far as articulation with the ball jointed wrists. Absolutely. Which really help with all those instruments.
Unprecedented. I hope that we see more figures in the future with ball jointed wrists.
The one thing holding this back from number 1, no butterfly joints.
Yep. It does get a little tricky with some of the instruments when you want to nail some of those iconic poses that we see in the actual movie. They can be done, but it definitely requires way more finesse than it should, because if they literally just had butterfly joints, it would be problem solved.
And it would also be number 1 on this list without a single doubt in my mind.
Absolutely. But we're always happy to have more original trilogy figures, so you knew this one was going to be high up on our list.
That is true. We love original trilogy characters, but you know what else we love? Troop builders.
Ooh.
You know we couldn't have an out of the basement list without a troop builder. There are no straight up clone trooper or any other trooper repaints on this list because they're just repaints.
Right.
They're amazing, and I'll buy every single clone they do, but yes, we also love clone repaints. Just want to throw that out there. The Death Watch Mandalorian is one of the best of 2022. An all-new sculpt when they kind of sort of didn't even have to do a 100% new sculpt, because even the helmet is brand new.
Yeah, I remember when we originally saw this figure, we were thinking, oh, it's just reusing Beskar Mando parts with a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Right.
And then we actually get it in hand and realize, oh, no, this is a 100% brand new figure, head to toe, and they just absolutely killed it. The articulation is wonderful. The ability to utilize flame accessories if you have Boba Fett, plug them into his jetpack, and then you can do some flying poses if you got a Hasbro Pulse stand.
Yep, I love the blaster with like the vertical grip. That's a new sculpt as well, and a lot of people have it incorrect, so they think the figure can't hold the blaster.
True.
But there is a way to have him hold it correctly. It's a little intricate, but a lot of people have said that, oh, once I switched up his little hand grip, then it fits perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
I love the little off purple hue to the flight suit. The blue is such a nice shade, pinless. It looks like someone is in the armor. It looks like a little mini hot toy. It looks like you just plucked them right out of the screen.
And another underrated detail is the knee pads are not glued in.
Yes.
So when you articulate the knee, you can move the knee pad to the appropriate position.
And apparently that was an unintentional mistake. For the better.
Yeah, and clearly they decided to do it again with Axe. So now it's intentional, so keep doing it. And maybe do it for the Clone Trooper too. Justin, that brings us to our number 1 Black Series figure of 2022.
We kept going back and forth on this one.
I'm sure it's pretty obvious at this point, but I do also firmly believe 1 and 2 could be flip-flopped. Really just depends on my mood. But our number 1 pick is going to be the Clone Wars Season 7 Darth Maul. pretty obvious choice. I think we all knew this figure was going to be high up on a lot of people's lists. And once we got it in hand, we realized that it absolutely was worth the wait because it almost 100% delivers on every single level.
It's insane. This was a character that was such a long time coming. Because for our lists, yeah, we care about sculpt, articulation, paint apps, sculpted details. But we also care about just the significance of the character. And it's like, finally, Clone Wars Maul. And for me, he delivers in pretty much every way. He has great details. I love his photo reel. I love his grimace. The lightsaber is great. The butterfly joints. Those robo legs are so sturdy.
Yep.
No falling over with this figure. Easy posing. I know you have a slight issue with the knees because it's only 90 degrees.
Yeah, I wish the knees could have gone just a little bit further back, and I think they could have done it just with a little bit more clever engineering. Minor nitpick, but it is something that does bug me because I want to be super agile with my Maul figures, and I feel like that just holds it back a little bit. But otherwise, another brand new figure, 100% brand new sculpt. I know there were people out there that were thinking the chest was reused, but
nope. Detective Nate.
We got to go to Nipplegate, and we realized that this Maul has no nipples when the other apprentice one does. So
yeah, new sculpt.
It's a brand new sculpt, and it is really nicely articulated. Butterfly joints as well. You can store the lightsaber on his belt if you want to. And I know some people wish his face would have been more neutral, but I like the smirk.
I like the grimace, like he's about to fight.
Yeah,
Ahsoka.
It shows like a real confidence with Maul, which at that point in the series, he's like pretty much thinking he's untouchable.
Yeah, there was some mismatched red paint on the torso and the face, but believe me when I tell you, when you're looking at a review, you are watching something under like studio lighting.
Right.
Very, very bright, vibrant lights. In hand, not as noticeable. And I can let it slide because it's such a fantastic figure, and we have been waiting so long for a Clone Wars Maul.
Yeah.
Figure of the year. I can't put it down. It's one of those that he doesn't even have a permanent spot on the shelf. I got him handy on the work desk.
Sometimes you got to have him nearby when you're editing those videos for just a quick little pose.
Yeah, quick pose.
I hear you. It's great because we've also had Ahsoka for so long, for years at this point. So now we finally got that little battle completed. And yeah, that is our top 10 list of the Black Series figures of 2022. Of course, we would love to know what your top 10 is in the comments down below.
So many more great figures that we painfully had to leave out
of
this list, but it's just 10. Only 10.
The list could go on, and really I can't blame anyone for their top 10 list this year because there's just so many great figures.
Right. I'm still super hyped on the line and very excited. I think this was a great year.
And I would absolutely agree with you. Another just fantastic year for the line. I can't wait to see what next year is going to bring us. We've got some 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi goodies coming up. Some brand new figures like the Endor Rebel Trooper. That's one that is on my radar big time for next year. So I can't wait to see what we are going to get. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this episode of Figure It Out. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. We're always talking about Star Wars The Black Series here on the channel. And if you'd like to support us in a more direct manner, we do also offer a channel membership for 99 cents a month. You get access to a custom Clone Trooper name badge and custom emojis that you can use on our videos and in our live streams, which are every single Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time.
You gotta join the Discord.
Join that Discord. There are links for everything down in the description of this video. Special shout out and big thank you to our current channel members. Your continued support is truly appreciated. And thank you to everyone else out there for simply watching, liking, subscribing, and sharing these videos with your Star Wars figure loving friends. I'm Nate, joined with Justin.
See you guys later.
And we will see you all next time on Out of the Basement.